Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today as it is going to be an interesting session regarding nutrition as lifestyle portion control. And stay with us till end of the session today. As the Malaysian government has announced a complete lockdown due to spike in COVID-19 cases, we urge you to stay at home and be safe. We from Malaysian International Food and Beverage glad to introduce another session of Future Food webinar series to everyone, and I'm Jasprit, the host for this afternoon. I would like to introduce our key speaker of the day, Miss Raanita, who is a community nutritionist from Sunway Pharmacy and highly driven to impart her knowledge on targeting the modifiable risk factors of NCDs. In fact, she assists the community to maintain a healthy lifestyle by giving them advice based on assessment of their body composition, blood parameters, and blood pressure. She is also well versed in planning individualistic structured nutrition, program to help reach health goals. This webinar series will provide an overview of evidence of the benefit of practicing portion control for weight management. Before that, let me give a quick intro on MIFB, which stands for Malaysian International Food and Beverage Trade Fair, that provides opportunity to revitalize your business through an exclusive business-to-business platform with power-packed F&B services and solution providers. Thank you so much, Ranita, for your time today. Before we end this session later, we will have a quick Q&A session with everyone. Please submit your question to the Q&A button below. Ranita will love to answer any question related to nutrition. Without further delay, please join me in welcoming Miss Ranita. Ranita, hand over to you now.
Thank you very much, Jess, for the kind introduction. So I'm just going to start sharing my screen. Okay. So you can see my screen, yeah?
Yep, we can.
Okay, so I'll start now. Thank you everyone for joining this webinar series today. I really appreciate the time you all have taken out. So let's dive into nutrition as a lifestyle and let's zoom into portion control after. So today's webinar series, I'm going to be talking more on why having a healthy diet is very important and how it can actually affect us from prevent us from developing diseases, and what is the current prevalence of diseases in Malaysia, and how Malaysia has come up with very easy educational tools for Malaysians to learn how to develop healthy diets through the Malaysian food pyramid as well as the Malaysian healthy plate template, and how we as Malaysians can build a healthy plate just by understanding portion control and serving sizes. And of course, I will sum it up with the take-home message. So why is it very important to have a healthy diet? Of course, a healthy diet gives us a balance of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, and in turn will give us a better quality of life and quantity of years living. And a healthy diet actually prevents us from developing non-communicable diseases. As many of you all know what non-communicable diseases are, diseases that you can't actually get infected by from other people. So diseases that you develop from your own lifestyle and your own genetics. So there are two types of risk factors which leads to diseases, which I will talk more. So what are the types of risk factors that causes diseases? So there are two types of risk factors, which is modifiable risk factors that we can change and non-modifiable risk factors that we cannot change, which is like genetics and also hereditary. So as we dive into modifiable risk factors, we can look into tobacco use, alcohol use, diet, physical activity. But today I'm going to speak more about diet and how an unhealthy diet can cause diseases in our life. So it is shown here, and it is studied from the National Plan of Action for Nutrition of Malaysia from 2006 to 2015. It was shown that the overweight category of Malaysians and the obese category of Malaysians has increased. So if you can see here, the percentage of people being overweight from 2006 has slightly increased till 30% in 2015. So that's like about 1%, but it accumulates a lot of people. And for obese category, it has also increased slightly by 3%. And it may seem like a small figure, but we have 32 million population in Malaysia. So it is actually a lot. And for us to touch on diet, to touch on diet to prevent us from developing diseases is by maintaining a healthy weight and of course a BMI that is in the normal range. So, an unhealthy diet, like I said, can cause us to become obese or overweight, which in turn will which in turn could lead us to develop diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, hypercholesterolemia, which is high blood cholesterol, basically. And for most of y'all that already know, diabetes is a very prominent disease among Malaysians. 1 in 3 Malaysians is would have diabetes. So it's a very alarming disease for Malaysians. And if you can see here, the percentage of diabetes from 2006 to 2015 has increased by 6%. And for hypercholesterolemia, it has also increased. And these two are non-communicable diseases. But Malaysians have been doing slightly a good part in hypertension control, where it has slightly decreased by 2%. And it's good because Malaysians are more aware about the sodium content in their food, and they are more aware on how to limit the intake, and hopefully diabetes and hypercholesterolemia can slowly reduce in time to come, which is very worrying. So let's dive into how do we understand the Malaysian food pyramid and how we can apply it in our life. So a Malaysian food pyramid actually covers 4 levels of food of 4 different classes. So if you look deeper, it would be level 1 is the fruits and vegetables, and level 2 would be the carbohydrates, and level 3 would be protein intake such as cheese, milk, chicken, and the highest, which is the red category, which is what we must limit our intake, would be the salts, sugar, fats, and oils. So as the pyramid goes higher, it shows the foods that we have to limit our intake. So let's dive into how do we know what are the serving sizes that the Malaysian food pyramid is showing. It shows like, yes, we can eat a lot of vegetables and fruits, but do we eat just everything vegetable? Do we just eat all vegetables and fruits and limit the other classes? No, but so let's look into each level. So let's look into the first level, which is the fruits and vegetables. As you can see here, there are vegetables and fruits. So vegetables, there are 2 types of categories, which is non-starchy vegetables, which is leafy greens and like your spinach, as you can see. And also categorized and starchy vegetables are like your carrots, cauliflowers, and broccolis. So if you can see here, your leafy greens are advised to it is advised to have your leafy greens at 1 cup per serving. So if you're having spinach, it's good to have a serving 1 cup, which is sufficient for you for your vitamins and nutrients from your vegetables. And if you're having cruciferous vegetables such as starchy vegetables like your broccoli or your carrots, then it's advisable to take half a cup. So just advice for those that with diabetic, it is recommended to increase your intakes of leafy greens, which are non-starchy vegetables, instead of starchy vegetables. And if you look at your right hand side, you can see the serving sizes for fruits. So we all think that, oh, we can eat 1 papaya, we can eat 3 bananas, it's healthy, but fruits also have their own serving sizes. Like if you can see here, 1 banana is 1 serving size. 1 slice of watermelon is 1 serving size. 1 slice of papaya is 1 serving size. And half a jambu or guava is 1 serving size. So these are serving sizes per meal. So if we can follow these, we will have the right amounts of nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, and we will be able to portion control based on the foods that we eat. So moving on to the level above would be level 2, which is the source of energy. So we have a rice. Rice would be 1 cup, which is 1 serving size. Noodles would be 1 cup. cornflakes would be a 1 cup, and chapati would be 1 piece. Sweet potato would be one small sweet potato. Corn would be one. Crackers would be six, and bread would be two slices of bread. But if you're thinking, oh, today is my holiday, I want to have a cornflakes and also I want to have bread. So if you want to spice up your breakfast, you can combine two different cups, but not 1 cup of cornflakes and two slices of bread, because when you're doing that, you're exceeding your energy intake. So what you can do is you can maybe reduce your cornflakes to 1/2 cup, and you can reduce your slices of bread to one slice. So 1/2 cup of cornflakes and one slice of bread, and there you go, you can have a combination of two different cups. So it's about mixing and matching, and also understanding the different carbohydrates and the different serving sizes it serves. So as we go on to the next level, um, it is the sources of protein, so, and also calcium, vitamin B's, zinc, iron, and many more minerals. So for anchovies, it would be 1/2 cup, and for those that are vegetarian and vegans, it would be 1 cup. And tempeh is also suitable for those who are on a vegan diet and vegetarians. So 2 pieces of tempeh. In the image, I showed a few pieces. So 2 pieces of that would be one serving size. And for 1 cup of milk is one serving size. 2 eggs is one serving size. And for the chicken and fish, those are the serving sizes. But if you were to choose a healthier option, cooking method, you can maybe go for baking or even steaming or even grilling, because you limit your oil usage when you cook through these ways. So as we go on to the highest level, it would be the salt, sugar, fats, and oil. So these are the foods that should be taken at minimal amount. So as you can see, WHO recommends less than 5 grams of salt per day. So that is around 2000 to 2005 milligrams of salt. So if you're wondering how much of salt is that, that's basically 1 teaspoon of salt. So imagine one whole day, you're only allowed to eat 1 teaspoon of salt. So why is it so important to reduce your salt intake, and why they recommend this 5 grams per day is because as we reduce our salt intake, and as we how do I say, as we follow the recommended serving size of salt intake per day, we are actually preventing ourselves from eating too much of sodium, which will in turn prevent us from getting high blood pressure, which will which prevents us from causing from getting hypertension disease. So limiting our salt intake is so vital to prevent us from getting all the non-communicable complicated diseases. And for salt and sugar, we have to reduce our intake as to minimal amount. And for those with diabetics, it's very important to limit your sugar content. And as we move on to the next, it would be the Malaysian Healthy Plate, which is developed by the Ministry of Health Malaysia. It is very simple for Malaysians to understand how to use this plate. And if we understand how to use it, and if we know how to learn, and if we learn how to use the serving sizes and portion control the right way, we will know how to lead a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle. So if you can mentally divide your plate into half, and the other half would be into quarter and quarter. So the first half would be for your greens, vegetables, and fruits, and your other quarters would be your grains and protein. So let's dive into an easier way of understanding. So this would be the Malaysian healthy plate. So this is how it looks. For the first half would be your vegetables. Of course, for diabetic, it would be recommended to take low GI foods. So low GI foods are low glycemic index foods. So vegetables. So and low GI foods. So for example, if you're looking at the healthy plate, low GI food there are actually a lot of products out there in Malaysia that shows the GI content of food. So look out for those breads or biscuits or cookies that shows low GI. So diabetic patients can opt for those options. So, and for diabetic patients, it would be recommended to take half a plate of non-starchy vegetables and half a plate of leafy green vegetables, instead of filling up half your plate of non-starchy vegetables, because starchy vegetables are high in carbohydrate, which can also affect your sugar level. And fruits, it's very important to follow the serving size, especially for those with diabetes. And for your grains, a quarter would be sufficient, and the other quarter would be your poultry intake or your legumes, such as chickpeas, green peas, and your meat, your chicken, and your fish. And for adults, it would be recommended to have 8 to 9 inches, about 23 cm a plate. And for kids, it would be recommended to have about 7 inches. So the difference between adults and kids is just about 1 to 2 inches. And having a balanced diet through this Malaysian healthy plate is very easy to attain. So these are examples of healthy plates that can be developed in Malaysia. So if you're thinking of having a Malay cuisine, these are examples that you can look at. So if you can see here, there's a balance of fruits, vegetables, proteins, as well as carbs. Of course, you can opt for different carbs. If you don't want to have rice, you can opt for bread. Or if you don't want to have grapes, you can opt for another fruit. So instead of just having rice and the meat, you're supplying yourself with fiber and also nutrients from the fruits that will help with your bowel movements and help with the digestion of your other foods. Because as you eat a complex food, as you eat different classes of food, it will actually complement each other to help your digestion become better. And this would be an Indian cuisine, as you can see, like I mentioned, 4 different classes of food. And of course, this is the Chinese cuisine. Like I said, it's very important to limit your salt intake. So of course, not 5 grams of salt in one plate of meal. 5 grams of salt in a day, or lesser would be even better. And this is an example of a Malaysian healthy plate for Western cuisine. So what are the benefits of portion control? So portion control is so beneficial for everyone. Firstly, you are able to learn about portion control, and you will understand how you can portion your food for your own body, and your body will thank you in the future. Secondly, you are able to choose lesser energy dense food at a smaller portion. Instead of having a big portion of burger, you're able to opt for a lesser portion of energy dense food. So example, French fries are high energy dense food. So when you're doing a portion control through the Malaysian healthy plate template, you're able to reduce your energy dense food content. And you also have a balance of carbs, fats, proteins, of course, micronutrients and minerals. Your food is able to digest easily because a different combination of food classes will complement the digestion of different food groups. And when you're able to digest properly, you will feel a sense of fullness, which is satiety, and you will have a lesser chance of snacking in between and feeling hungry, and you will be able to manage your body weight, and you will be able to prevent yourself from developing chronic diseases. So fruits and vegetables are very important to implement inside your diet. So what is the take home message here? So an individual has their own calorie and micronutrient needs. So ensuring you understand what is your calorie need and what is your macronutrient need is number one, which is very important. And this can be attained through getting a diet consultation from a healthcare professional, or you can calculate it yourself online. And if we don't have the means to hire a professional, a nutritionist or a dietitian, we can always get it for free. If you sign up with the public health clinics in Malaysia, it's only 1 ringgit for registration fee. And if you're having any nutrient deficiencies, or if you're pregnant or anemic, you can always ask to be referred to a dietitian or nutritionist, and it's all free of charge at the cost of 1 ringgit. And it's so easy to find out more information about the products on the supermarket cabinets, you just go to MyFitnessPal app, which is free of charge. You can download on your Apple's App Store, or you can download on your Play Store, and you can understand the different calorie content of different foods, and also the macronutrients, the fats, the proteins, and the carb content. And you can understand all this very, very easily, because it's very easily structured, and it's very layman, and it's also free. And of course, you can also, if you have Instagram, it's so easy to get a lot of nutrition information, which is, and it is also important that you go to the right Instagram profiles. For example, you can go to the Ministry of Health Malaysia's nutritionist page, which is the nutritionist, which is nutritionist KKM, and all the information there is fantastic and so interesting. It's so relatable to Malaysians and Malaysians' diet, and they have a lot of tips and tricks that you can use to lose weight or to prevent diseases. So it's great if you can follow them and also look at their content. And also, you can look on to www.myhealth.gov.my and learn more in depth about everything that I talked about, from the Malaysian food pyramid to the Malaysian healthy plate. It seems a bit vague about what I spoke about, because covering how to build a healthy diet takes a lot of reading, understanding, and also trial and error, and also understanding your body. But if you can follow these platforms and learn more about what they are willing to offer, you will be able to learn more about what your body needs, and your body will thank you in the future. And for sure, if you know about your calorie and macronutrient needs, you will be able to understand what is the serving size your body requires for your carbohydrate intake, your fat intake, your protein intake, and also your fruits intake, and the portion sizes that you require to build a healthy plate. And of course, it will it will be easy for you to have a healthy plate. And of course, it is worth the trial and error of understanding which food works for you. If you can't take leafy greens at night, then you can take leafy greens during the day. Or if you prefer to take a lower energy dense food at night, you would want to take a higher energy dense food during the day, so that you can burn it off and you can feel more energized during the day. So it's more about understanding your body and understanding which food works for you. And it's all very easy to get all this information. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at my email, ranita.k@gmail.com. I'll be happy to help all of you. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, thank you so much, Miss Ranita, for your time today, and good sharing regarding nutrition as a lifestyle portion control. I hope everyone have learned today. And now we will be answering Q&A session, which was receiving through the Q&A button below. Okay, so for the first question, it will be, may I know what is the serving size for white pepper or black pepper?
Okay, white pepper and black pepper. So
Yeah.
if you're for white pepper and black pepper, it is a food seasoning. It's actually a food enhancer. So you're just giving flavor to your food. So you need to see, is there salt included in your white pepper and black pepper, or is it just pure white pepper and black pepper? If it's just pure grounded white pepper and black pepper, you don't have to worry. Depends on how your body can stand the spiciness of pepper and how your stomach can react to it. If you don't have reflux, or if you don't have gastric, then it really depends on how much you want to take. Because if you are looking at white pepper and black pepper, if it's completely natural, you can take how much you want as long as your body can stand it. But if you are taking something that is pre-mixed with salt and with chili flakes, with other spices, then you might definitely want to reduce your intake. So it really depends what kind of white pepper and black pepper product.
Yeah, we just need to make sure the amount of salt is the one that you mentioned. It must be the same, right?
Yes.
It must be same at the whole day.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the second question will be serving size. 1 cup is cooked 1 cup or raw 1 cup? How big is the cup?
For the serving size, so for example,
Serving size.
for the spinach, it will be 1 cup of cooked spinach. So of course, you need to take into account the amount of salt you use, limit it, and limit your oil also. So it depends. Some vegetables you can eat raw, like like for nasi kerabu, you can have a lot of raw vegetables, and that you can have like 1 cup of that. But if you want to have a cooked vegetable, you can cook it, but of course, limit your salt and your oil added to that dish.
Yep. Okay, then what are the ideal and healthy food that we could consume during this lockdown period?
Sorry, what
As
are
we all know, since this lockdown, okay, the question again, what are ideal and healthy food that we could consume during this lockdown period?
okay? So thank you
So
for the
normally everyone in this lockdown will directly, yeah, lockdown directly, they'll just whatever they have, they'll just grab and eat. So it's very important once they're at home also, they must also consume following the food diet. So what is
yeah.
your opinion on that?
So it really depends. So if you're a person who like to eat fast food, like I said, mm, portion control.
Yep,
Imagine your plate as a quarter, quarter half. So make sure you have the greens, you also have your fruits, and you have your protein at quarter. So make sure it's at quarter level, and your carbs at quarter. So if you like salty foods or fast food, it's great, but you just make sure you have the uh, half of your plate is filled with vegetables and also fruits. Of course, it it is sometimes difficult for us to have a meal with a lot of vegetables and fruits because it takes time to cook. But taking that extra mile and effort to include more fiber and more fruits in your diet will bring benefits to your body in the longer run, and your body will thank you later.
yep,
So what kind of foods you can include in your diet during the pandemic? I would say reduce salt food, as in processed food, because when you're at home and when you're working at home, if you're an individual that's working from home, you would tend to snack on bread or biscuits. I don't know about you, but for myself, if I'm working from home, I think my I would like to snack on biscuits and breads. But we fail to realize that breads and biscuits also contain sodium, and
yep,
understanding the content of sodium in these products are very important, so that we limit our intake and drink a lot of water. Hydrate yourself is very important, because as we sit down, we don't realize we are not sweating as much as we are at work, but we are actually sweating in this hot Malaysian weather. So hydrating is very important to keep us hydrated, and also prevent us from snacking in between.
yep. Okay, again, why do you think some people are obsessed with their calories intake?
Why do I think some people are obsessed with their calorie intake? Some people, I guess, understanding calories would be okay. To understand your calorie, you will first have a few phases. So obsessing about it would be number one. Once you know about different calories in different foods, once you know it at the tip of your fingers, you won't obsess anymore about it, because you will already know what to eat and what to not eat, and what how to build your meal. So it really depends on individual why you want to obsess about it. Maybe if you want to lose weight, then that's why you want to cut your calories. But of course, obsessing about calories is not the message I'm trying to send out here. It's about portion control, so that we don't have to obsess about calories. We So that we can consciously eat what we want to, and unconsciously do better for our health without obsessing about calories, just by portion control.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good message. So, okay, then how many times should a normal human being eat on daily basis?
So how many? Sorry, how many?
How many times a
How
day?
many times? Okay. So
Yes.
it really depends. So some people can eat 3 meals a day and feel uh, at peak at the energy level. Like for myself, I would need to eat like 3 meals a day, and I would feel at peak at my energy level. But some individuals just can have lunch and dinner and their energy level would be at peak. So it really depends. You just need to listen to your body and know what your body needs and understand, because every individual is different. So I can't say if you need to have snacks in between, because sometimes you don't even need to. Really depends on how your physical condition is and how your lifestyle is. Are you always on the go or are you sedentary? So it really depends. But if you're a person who likes to eat 3 meals a day with snacking in between, of course it's great, but limit your snack to healthy snacks like maybe celery sticks with hummus, or just crackers, or fruits, or hydrate yourself with infused water. You won't believe it, but hydrating yourself will give you a satiety feeling, and you won't realize that it is actually dehydration that is causing you hunger. So it really depends on individual.
Yeah. Okay, great. So the next question will be, please explain about GI index. Some packing have no GI index. So they want to know more about that GI
Yeah.
index.
Understood. Yes, some food packagings unfortunately does not have GI index in Malaysia, but some has GI index. If you actually look
Yeah.
at the cabinets on the supermarkets, you can find foods that have the GI number. So, for example, if you are diabetic and if you are looking for low GI food, you might want to go for wheat. You might want to go for whole grain or something that is high in fiber, or like corn crackers instead of white flour crackers. You might want to opt for something that is low in GI, like lower than 55 would be ideal, but it really depends. So if you want to look at the nutrition label, it's a whole different education. So looking at a low GI food would require, if you want to identify a low GI food, you might want to look at the fiber content and also the carbohydrate content and the sugar content. Ensure that the sugar content is like 0 point something and the carbohydrate content is um, lower compared to all the other products available. And also there is some source of fiber. If you can see the product with a lower sugar and lower carbohydrate and high fiber content, that product would be lower in GI as compared to the other products on the cabinet. I hope you understand what I mean. If you are not clear, you can always drop me an email.
Yeah.
I'm happy to
So
help.
yes, so anything we will provide the email at the end, MIFB or your email, they can directly contact you. And now the next is, do all type of fruits have the same serving size? Because some fruits are way too sweet. So does it matter?
Yes, it does matter. So, for example, like I said, a pineapple would be just one slice. Pineapple is high in fiber, but it also is high in, not high in sugar, but it does have uh, a lot of fructose. So it is a sweet fruit. So it really depends. Different fruits have different serving sizes. Like I showed earlier,
Yeah.
you can go onto the www myhealth.gov.my. There you can find a lot of information about the serving sizes for fruits, vegetables. You'll be surprised all the different types of fruits. It's so easy to understand just by reading. And yes, definitely different fruits have different sugar content and different fiber content that causes the sugar content to increase or decrease. So understanding whether your sugar level is in control and whether
Mhm.
you can take that fruit, it really depends on you. Mm.
Okay, so thank you for the answer. And we are getting overwhelming questions. So we'll try to answer today because the time is still there. If not, then we will for sure tell them to email to us.
Yeah,
So the next question is, this one, twice she asked this because maybe a lot of people want to know about this question too. What food to eat to reduce the belly fat?
what food to reduce belly fat? Okay,
Yes.
so okay, belly fat, it comes with food, and also 70% is diet and 30% is exercise. You can reduce belly fat by food and exercise, but just by food alone, it will not really be burned off. So by food, I would say you can take food that are you can take like a lemon infused water, something that will help increase your metabolism, or something. Okay, it might sound a bit like it might sound a bit a bit not suitable for those with IBS. But yes, you can increase pepper in your food. You can increase a bit of chili in your food. These are the foods that will actually increase your metabolism. But
Oh,
to just target belly fat, I would recommend brisk walking, or go for a jog if you are capable, or running. That would be great by all means, because brisk walking is the best way to actually burn fat overall. So to target belly fat, you can go for brisk walking or even running if you're capable.
yeah. Exercise is also important other than food, healthy diet, right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the next question, can I know if trans fat is considered as healthy?
No, I wouldn't say trans fat is healthy, because trans fat is the fat that that is the fat that stays in your body. So you want to eliminate trans fat from your diet. But of course, there are some food that has trans fat in the supermarket that we have in our diet. It's fine to take at minimal amount. That's why having it at minimal amount is very important. And of course, you can eat it, but just limit your intake. But by all means, try to avoid trans fat. Saturated
Yeah.
fat is better than trans fat, because trans fat is the bad fat that converts it to stay in your body. So it's very hard to lose the trans fat.
Mm. Okay. Okay, so I have the next question is quite long, so I'll just answer slowly. So, as per the WPR in 2019, Malaysia has the highest level of obesity and SE Asia,
Mhm.
Southeast Asia, 15.5%, almost 50% of the population. In your opinion, is this due to overeating of the wrong type of food
Mhm.
or lack of understanding of the need for a balanced diet? Or is it that Malaysians are just not bothered about healthy living, or lack of food labeling or food law enforcement of those selling non-healthy food items?
Okay,
So that is
yes.
that he would like to know. Yeah.
I think all thank you for the question. It is a great question, and I believe everything that you said um, is a cause for obesity and overweight to increase in Malaysia. So it ties down to the food labeling, the food marketing, and also it ties down to the knowledge, because if we aren't able to understand at a young age about the importance of understanding nutrition labels and what is in the label, we will never understand it when we grow up, because it is like blind leading the blind. If for example, if I'm a parent and if I don't know about um this particular food which is
Mhm.
high in salt and high in sugar, and I keep eating it, and if my child eats it, it is because of me not educating my child. And when my child grows up, she's going to think, oh, it's fine to eat that food because my mom ate that food. So it really ties down on education and also food labeling, and all that you said, everything plays a role.
Yeah. So
Mm,
everything matters, even the labeling, also the portion of the food that we are having. Yeah.
yes.
Okay. What is the best food to help burn? Sorry, I lost them. Okay, sorry. What is the best food to help burn fatty liver?
Burn fatty liver.
Yeah.
Okay, fatty liver is good to reduce your meat intake, because sometimes the meat that we eat already has fat. So try to limit your meat intake. If you can, try to include um, greens in your diet if you can. If you go to the pharmacy, you will also find supplements such as milk thistle. This is a great supplement. It is no side effects. It's just from a flower, purple flower, and this supplement
Okay.
can actually help to reduce fatty liver. So really depends what kind of fatty liver you are having, and definitely if it's deteriorates to your health, it's good to get a nutrition consultation, or just go to the pharmacy and see the products that we have, and you will understand what products are out there that you can actually take to help reduce your fatty liver uh,
Mhm.
fast and effectively, instead of taking a long time and not understanding how to reduce it. A lot of supplements out there can instantly reduce your fatty liver um, if you take it consistently and the right way,
Yeah.
because that's
Okay.
already a disease. So it's already a condition. So you want to um, tackle it. So you don't want to just change your diet, you really want to tackle it, so you need to have something that is high dose to reduce your fatty liver.
Then supplements can help on it, right? So it'd be good if you go to pharmacy and get it. Okay, so the next question, what is the serving size for pastry products? Example, cake. You know how we want to say no to cake. So how about that? Pastry and cakes. So what's the serving size for that?
Okay, I'm guilty of this. Okay, so it really depends. So again, like I said, cakes and pastries are high in fat because of the butter used and the oil used, vegetable oil. So limiting our intake is great, but of course, it's not a bad food. It is a food that everyone loves and it instantly brings us happiness. So if we want to eat, yes, we can eat, but just eat in a proper portion. Just maybe you can share half a pastry with someone else, and you clear your cravings just by that. It's about balance and portion control. At the end of the day, you can eat whatever you want, just about portion control, and sharing is caring.
Yes. At least you taste it, but just in a small portion.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So another question: is intermittent fasting good for a nutritionist point of view?
Okay, so intermittent fasting is very widely used among people all around the world and also right now in
Yep.
Malaysia. So
Mm-hmm.
it really depends on individual again. I'm a person who cannot do intermittent fasting because I need at least something to eat during my morning, because if I don't have something to eat, I would feel I will feel like low energy and I can't think and I would be like a zombie. So I need like something to
Yep.
replenish my nutrients that I'm lacking in. So but some people are going good with intermittent fasting, and they can go on till 1 o'clock and then they will break their fast. But I would suggest when you break your fast, instead of breaking your fast with chicken rice or like with a diet which is high in carbs,
Mm-hmm.
balance your diet, fill up more on the vegetables, because you want to have a diet of high in fiber when you break your fast. Because when you're breaking your fast, imagine your sugar level is at the lowest peak. So when you eat, you don't want your sugar levels to rise drastically. So you want to take a diet that is high in fiber so that your sugar level gradually increases, like a low GI diet. So this will prevent you from also developing diabetes in the future. The main cause of diabetes is also one of the reasons people develop diabetes is also because having sugar a lot, and also having a diet that is high in GI all the time. So they break their fast with a diet high in GI. So a diet high in GI basically spikes up your glucose level instantly. And when this keeps happening on a regular basis and daily, monthly, yearly, eventually an individual is more likely to become diabetic. So breaking your fast with a diet which is high in fiber would be optimum, and is very important for someone that wants to do intermittent fasting, I believe.
Yes. Okay. For another question, I usually weight home cooked food with food scale. Should
Hmm.
I weight my food, especially rice? But the rice, is it I weight by raw or cooked?
Okay, so if you're weighing your rice, I would suggest you to weigh your. It's very easy. You don't really need to weigh your rice, because you can just agak with the tools that we have in our kitchen, uh like our
It's
ladle.
cooked.
Yeah, our scoop. That is like one serving of rice. So if you can just have like that, that would be good enough. You don't really need to go out of the way to weigh your rice. But if you want to weigh your rice, I would recommend you weighing it when it's already cooked instead of not cooked.
Yep. Okay. That'd be more better on that. Uh, How much oil is considered healthy? How healthy is
So
Malaysian oil?
so if you go to the supermarket, there's so many different types of oil. So you can have a balance of all of the oils, but limiting intake. So um, yes, of course, oil can be trans fat. So limiting it to a teaspoon per cooking, or at maximum 2 teaspoons per cooking. But I know it's hard because we like
Yeah.
sambal, and we Malaysians like uh, all our rendang and
To
our
see on top.
curry.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is hard, but limiting oil intake is also plays a role. Or if you're going to have like uh, fried banana or goreng pisang or kueh that is fried, instead of having the kueh fresh out of the pan fried, maybe you can take a piece of tissue and remove all the oil and then eat. It tastes exactly the same with the oil uh, on the quay. So it's just about those small little changes that will slowly make a change to our body, and your body will thank you.
Yes, okay. Is portion control enough? Can I stop exercise if I portion control and eat healthy?
Uh, Again, 70% is diet and 30% is
Yeah.
exercise. Exercise is great to include in your fitness regime and in your lifestyle because it increases your endorphins, and it just instantly brings you into a happy mood. So, of course, don't eliminate exercise from your lifestyle. It is a lifestyle that you want to lead. So, don't stop exercising. It's as important as portion control and having a healthy diet.
Yeah, correct. Okay, okay. Cooking the vegetable can depletes its nutrition content.
Really depends on how you cook your vegetable. Are you going to blanch it? Are you going to steam it? Or are you going to boil it? So if you're going to boil it, yes, it will deplete its nutritional value. So of
Maybe
course, if you're
you
going to
can recommend. Yeah,
boil,
maybe you can
so
recommend the best cooking way for the vegetable be better.
maybe you can steam your vegetables, steam your vegetable, or you, because it will actually save the water content in the vegetable, or you just quickly stir fry, or um, even having it raw. Some vegetables you can have raw, and it's even nice to eat raw. So don't have to worry so much about the nutritional value is not there. If you're having a balanced diet and if you're having sufficient amount of vegetables, you will have the nutrients and vitamins that you require. And of course, if you feel that it's not enough for you, you can always um, portion control and listen to your body. If you need more vegetables, have more vegetables the next meal. So it really depends. So steaming would be good. Stir fry is good. Just maybe avoid boiling, because if you're going to boil with water, then it would be a soup. So have it like a soup, so the nutrients are still in the water instead of
In the
throwing the
water.
water
Yeah.
away. Yeah.
Yes, it's a good idea. At least it's still there. The nutrition point is there.
Or you can even bake it or grill it.
Yes. Okay. So, okay, we'll try to answer questions, which is important. Don't want to leave the questions.
Yeah.
So,
No worries. My pleasure.
yeah. Is the traffic? Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Where is traffic lights? Will eating only one meal will
Mhm.
affect our health? If not eating breakfast, just taking a drink, is that okay?
Just taking a drink is not sufficient for our body. Our body needs a fiber from our food,
Okay.
and also we need carbs, we need protein. So just having like a, if you mean like a drink, meaning like a smoothie or shake, just having that would be some people can go on by it, but I would advise to have a balanced diet so you can have proper bowel movements daily. It is recommended to go to the toilet at least 2 to 3 times a day. If you can go to 3 times, that's great. So if you're just going to have a fluid based diet, you're going to lack, you're going to prevent yourself from having proper bowel movement. So having a diet rich in fiber, soluble and insoluble fiber, is vital so you can have proper bowel movements and a healthy body inside out.
Yep. Okay, I think there's few question more. Your answer. So, what supplement or food can bring down cholesterol? If the person is having cholesterol problem, what supplement will be recommended?
Okay, I would recommend having oat beta glucan, because oat beta glucan can reduce total cholesterol. If you take 3 grams per day of oat beta glucan, really depends on the products that they have in the market. So some products would have just one scoop is sufficient for 3 grams of oat beta glucan, but some products would need 2 scoops. So really depends on the product. If you have oat beta glucan in your diet, 3 grams a day, it's good. If you can also include fish oil in your diet, that will be great. If you can also have milk thistle, is great for adults. So if you're having high cholesterol, you can have milk thistle. You can take milk thistle. It actually protects your liver. And if your body is able to tolerate rosuvastatin, it's a natural form of statin. It is in a supplement form. It is actually derived from red yeast rice. So this form of the natural statin can also reduce cholesterol levels. It is proven. And what you can do is maybe try first a small bottle of rosuvastatin and see whether it works for you. If it works for you, then great. You can take it for 3 months and see whether your cholesterol level reduces. And if you have any side effects, some people though have side effects like taking rosuvastatin supplements, they have like itchiness or have allergy reaction. That means they are allergic to that supplement. So then you have to completely stop that supplement. Then maybe choose something else. But oat BG is great and fish oil is great for everyone.
Okay. Okay, we've answered some 2 more questions. So one word, do frozen vegetable or frozen fruit have the same nutrition content as fresh?
Okay, so frozen vegetables, it is great. Of course, fresh is also good, but frozen vegetable, the thing about that it sometimes most of it can be the water content, but if you can get frozen vegetables, I mean frozen fruits at uh at the supermarket, and you can also get it really depends. If you can get fresh, and if by all means you can afford it, then go ahead with the fresh. But if you find getting frozen vegetables cheaper, then you can also take frozen vegetables, because I mean sorry, frozen fruits would be sometimes a bit more cheaper because the water content would be causing the weight. So sometimes frozen fruits would be higher in water content as compared to fresh fruits. So really depends.
So the fresh nutrition is still
Fresh,
there, lah.
yeah, nutrition is still there, lah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the important part. Okay, so now this will be the last question for today. So, how late can we have dinner? By eating too late at dinner and getting direct to bed, will it be detrimental for our health?
Yes. So thank you for the question. It would be best to have our dinner at least 1 hour to 2 hours before sleeping, so that our body can digest it. If we have it right before we sleep, sometimes some people can develop gastric reflux because your stomach is just digesting your food, and the acid that is eliminated from your stomach to digest your food would travel up to your esophagus, causing reflux. So it could have detrimental effects to your esophagus, where you can have gastric reflux. And it can also depends. So if your diet is a healthy diet for dinner, if it's a diet low in fat for dinner, then maybe you won't really have the reflux. If you're having a high fat diet and straight away going to bed, that is really detrimental to health, because number one, if you're going to have a high fat diet right before going to bed, it can increase your cholesterol level, because your liver function is at its peak at night. And when you take a high fat diet right before going to bed, your cholesterol level will increase. So having a diet low in fat and 1 to 2 hours before your bedtime would be optimum. So yes, definitely having an unhealthy diet right before bedtime is not advisable. It would be detrimental to health.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the questions also. So if we miss out
You
any messages or any questions, please you can send it to can send to our email, Miss Ranita email, or our MIFB at spherexb.com.my email at the chat box. we are given. So you can send the question, and for sure we will guide you from the questions. If you miss out any question or you have any further question directly to Miss Raanita, we will guide you from there. Okay, thank you so much once again, Ms. Raanita, for the great presentation today. And we are glad to have you for this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jess, and everyone for asking all the questions and for staying throughout the webinar. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. And check out our upcoming webinar on various topics related to F&B industries. Link will be placed at the chat box for registration for the upcoming webinar. Do register now. Thank you once again and stay tuned with our future food webinar series. Have a great day ahead and stay safe.